Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. In this one we're talking coffee, although not specifically coffee itself. We've done videos before about that, but actually the coffee grinder. Now for years I've used this electric grinder and it's worked really well. In fact, you've seen it in the imitation coffee video we made. I was firing this thing up and yeah, it's been working great, but it occurred to me that like every day plugging this thing in and blasting away, it's got to be using up quite a few watts every single time. And on a daily basis, that adds up after a while. So I thought, well, maybe there's a way to be more environmentally friendly, to go a bit more green. And I know that historically they used to have coffee grinders where it was like a box and it had these two wheels on it or a thing on the top, and you would grind the coffee the old-fashioned way. And I thought, that's kind of neat and very old-fashioned and quirky and cool, but I don't know, would I really want to go that full route? And then my wife found this, which is a coffee grinder. It's called, I think, Hario or Hario. Basically, imagine Mario's name spelled with an H. That's the model of this. She got this at the Salt Spring Specialty Coffee Shop here in BC. I think I've seen these online, though, so you can easily get these. And I'm guessing it's actually for camping purposes, because it does come apart. Like, basically you've got, this is where your coffee grinds end up in, and this is the grinding part itself. So you would just screw the whole thing together and load your beans in the top, and then just sit there and grind away. And I thought, yeah, let's give that a whirl, and it's actually been a really good coffee grinder. I really like it. Takes a bit longer than using this routine, and in fact I'm going to show you. I'm going to make some with this, and we'll time it. But I don't know, I thought to myself, this is being a bit more environmentally friendly, and why not do a video about this little thing, because it's been going great for like a year or two now. And the other thing is, I've done some other sort of kitchen gadget things, remember like the cubes of steel? And I thought, you know what, we do have some kind of interesting gizmos around the place here that I thought might make kind of interesting videos. So, first of all, I'm going to show you some close-ups of this thing, including where the coffee goes in and all that stuff. And then, let's make some coffee. So I just thought I'd do another sort of closer look at the grinder itself. You can see there's the handle. Very smooth action, actually. And in the top here, just sort of lift off this rubbery, or silicone, I guess, lid. And then the beans go in there, and it's, I guess they're all mulched up and crunched up. It must be a series of gears inside there. When I start grinding, you're gonna hear those gears working away. And they come down and eventually land in the bottom jar area there. And I don't know if you can make it out there or not. It's not very clear. Anyway, it does say Hario or Mario or something like that. Oh, yes, and that's worth noting. That little grip there is basically, because it's just a glass jar here, that gives it a bit of grip so that it can sit on the table and it won't slide around too easily. Okay, so let's make some coffee. I'm just going to put some beans in the top, as mentioned. For two people, about half of the jar tends to be good for the two of us. For one person, maybe not quite half of that, maybe like a third of the whole thing is good. Now, this is the only downside is, as great as this thing is, it does take a while to grind the coffee. So start the clock. I guess if we're at 8:18. Let's see how long this thing is. You can tell when it's finished because it'll actually, the beans will stop making the sound. I'll start grinding and it'll be obvious as we go. Start the clock. I can't really show you too easily, but there is some coffee down there already, and you can almost make out little granules falling. But anyway, yeah, this is just going through. Okay, you can hear how there's hardly any beans left now. So that was 3 or 4 minutes. That's not too bad, actually. I usually like to give it a little shake because there might be the odd bit of a bean left there. All right. So, in there, we have our coffee. And I'll just put some in the filter here. There we go. Now, it's probably not the finest grind, but it's certainly as good as the stuff that came out of that machine. I'll fire this up in the coffee machine now. Alright, so that's the coffee made. Now I've once again got my His Lordship cup just to give you an idea of how this looks compared to, remember the imitation coffee was very, very, like, almost tea-like, very see-through. This is the stuff, and there you can see, good dark cup of coffee. Alright, well, cheers. Yep, good solid cup of coffee. So, once again, that's our Hario, or Hario, coffee grinder. Really, it works just as good as any other coffee grinder, and I feel better about the environment that I'm doing all of this by hand instead of plugging it into the electricity every night. Right, well, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.